Hello, everyone. My name is Katie Lenway, and I am a supervisor of recruitment here at Hormel Foods. So I'm excited today to tell you a little bit more about Hormel's manufacturing opportunities. I personally actually grew up in Austin, Minnesota. Um, Never really anticipated working for Hormel myself. I don't think I really understood the great company that Hormel really is until I left Austin and went to college and started looking for full-time opportunities after graduation. So hopefully this will give you a little bit more information so you're prepared to make a decision on a career when it gets to that point in your life. So to start out, I just want to tell you a little bit about Hormel's journey. So when we asked our employees what was important to Hormel Foods, these were the four common themes that came up. So first was our legacy and our heritage, where we came from. Next was the food that we produce and we sell. And then the people that make up our company, as well as the importance of giving back to the community and being a philanthropic company. And being that many of you are, from the area, I'm sure you've seen Hormel's giving throughout the communities that you're in as well. So to talk to you a little bit about our legacy, this here is George A. Hormel. He actually he was the founder of the company, and he worked in the stockyards in Chicago as a young man and was really appalled by the working conditions that he saw. So when he started Hormel with a loan of just $500, he wanted to start a company that was different. So started a company with strong values, integrity, where employees were respected and paid a good wage. And he was really intrigued by the idea of continuously improving and being original. And so we still live by his words today of originate, don't imitate. And George had a vision, and it was executed by his son in 1941 to develop the Hormel Foundation. And so the foundation owns about 48% of the stock of Hormel, which virtually makes Hormel an impossible takeover candidate. So we can't be bought out. So that just shows that we're really always looking to the long term, not just short-term results. And George wanted his company to be recognized for more than just financial success. And so that is where the foundation comes in. It's really a way for us to be in the community, partner with these different community partners, and the board of directors is composed of different community members. So we started back as just a meat processor, and we've really grown to become a global food company. So we were founded in 1891, and now 2020, we look a lot different than we did over 125 years ago. So you can see there's been many acquisitions throughout those years, and we've grown from, a very small company to a $9.5 billion Fortune 500 company right here in Austin, Minnesota. And just a few pieces of information. As I mentioned, we're now about a $9.5 billion company. Our stockholders and our investors love to see that we've got 54 consecutive years of dividend increases and earnings growth, 29 out of the 34 past years. And then we talked a little bit already about that Hormel Foundation. So as we heard with George A. Hormel, he wanted to make sure his employees were treated with respect, and that's something that we carry out today as well. So we've been profit sharing every year since 1938. A portion of our profits are paid out to employees. Oftentimes, it will make the local news during profit sharing time. Our employees are pretty excited about that. But we're also a company that has multiple generations working here. I personally am a second generation Hormel employee, but that's nothing on what the Evenson family has 150 years plus with the company. And our average management tenure is about 27 years. So that's very unique to Hormel as well. You don't see that very often. And the next piece is our evolving food. And so we recognize that we're changing, our customers are changing, and we're on, this mission to appeal to diverse lifestyles, income brackets, taste profiles, etc. So fun fact is that we used to market exclusively to mothers, and now families only account for 1/3 of American homes. So we found that we needed to broaden our scope there and who we're, appealing to. So some of our brands are listed here on this brands board, but our brands are number 1 or number 2 in over 40 product categories. So I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of these brands, Skippy, Spam, etc. So we do often hear that people are surprised to see some of these brands under the Hormel umbrella as well. We're also looking at different platforms of how our business is segmented. So multicultural is really looking at foods that capture authentic flavors. We also have global brands like Spam that's in virtually every country of the world. Skippy's a favorite in China. We also have a plant there. And if you go to a major fast food restaurant in many parts of the world, you're likely to be eating a pizza that has Hormel pepperoni on it. There's also on the go. So with the advancement of technology and the use of cell phones, our eating habits have changed. And so we're coming out with products that don't require utensils. You can eat them on the go. And then healthy and holistic natural products for healthy living, lean protein options. That's a direction that our consumers are going as well. And so we've expanded by acquiring Applegate and then expanding brands like Natural Choice and Jennie-O as well. So what's impressive with our growth is that comes both from our homegrown innovation and then our acquisitions as well. So the model is really working for us and it's been very successful. And we look forward to seeing what the next acquisition will be for the company, with our most recent being Sadler's Smokehouse in Texas. Another pillar was our evolving people. So we're evolving, we're embracing diversity as an organization. If you really look at organizations that fail, the common theme is that senior leadership they all thought in a very similar way. And so we're hiring people with different backgrounds, with different experiences, and looking to, evolve as a company. So if you look at this picture here of our board of directors, though it's from a few years ago, we've made it a point to have one of the most diverse board of directors in any industry. So these are our cultural beliefs as a company. This is something that all of our employees go through a culture training on their first week with the company. But being a food company, safety first is very important. But these are really the cultural beliefs that we live by as a company and that make us successful on a day-to-day basis. And then these are just some awards that we've received recently. Best for Vets, one of the best companies to sell for, one of the best corporate citizens. So very proud of these awards that we've received as well. And then this is actually a list of our employee resource groups. So I kind of look at that as similar to, in school you have clubs and organizations you can be a part of. We have that here at Hormel for our employees as well. So there are different affinity groups that people can join based on their interests or, to show support to those specific different groups. And we talked about building bridges as one of our cultural beliefs as a company, and that isn't exclusive to Hormel internally. We have a long, rich history of having great relationships with our farmers as well. So an example of that is with this family farm in Adams, Minnesota, the Tomey family, and we've had a great relationship with them for many years. That last piece was our giving. That last pillar. So we have a rich history of giving and engaging employees to give back as well. We're trying to make a difference in really any way that we can. And one way that the Hormel Foundation we've talked about was very visionary for its time. That's a very integral part of giving back to the community. So it actually fully funds the Hormel Foundation, or the Hormel Institute, which is committed to cancer research and eliminating cancer. And that's actually right next door to the Hormel headquarters in Austin. And, really just George Hormel wanted to be recognized for giving back, not just for the financial success of the organization. So there's a lot of other ways that the Hormel Foundation is active in the community, arts, education as well. So in 2019, Hormel gave back $15 million in many different ways, including Feeding America and the Convoy of Hope, different scholarships, and supporting military families. Being a food company, we are often able to give back to different communities across the United States, but across really the world through food donations. To give you a little bit more information about the Hormel Institute, the organization has been pioneering research, cancer research. It was established in 1942 and funded by the Hormel Foundation. They're looking at preventative solutions as well as looking at areas of medication to optimize cell development. So they're definitely working towards a sustainable change around reducing the rate of cancer. Something that Hormel has done, building on the insights of the Hormel Institute, and this kind of tied into when Muscle Milk was a subsidiary of Hormel, we had created a product made exclusively for patients going through chemotherapy called Vital Cuisine. And so that was something that was available to those patients. Hormel is also committed to making an impact in the environment. So these are our 2020 goals. We are a results-oriented company, so we've achieved most of these goals at this point, and I should say exceeded. And so I know they plan on coming out with a new set of goals soon, so we look forward to seeing what those are. And then Project Spammy is actually a great project where we partner to help end hunger and malnutrition in Guatemala. So that's something where our employees are able to go on this trip. And there's also a product called Spammy that's a fortified turkey spread that we provide to these Guatemalan families as well. So that's just another way that Hormel is giving back outside of a community that we are in. So where will our journey take us next? It's pretty promising. We're a $9.5 billion organization, but we're only in a small percentage of households still. And so there's a lot of growth potential. We're on a journey to develop real, authentic relationships with consumers and communities here and throughout the world. And so looking to create an authentic and transparent relationship. So just to move into some of the different career opportunities that we have, and specifically focusing on manufacturing. First would be a production supervisory role. So all of these positions that we'll be talking about today are based in our manufacturing facilities that are really located throughout the entire United States, though many of you may be most familiar with our flagship plant, our largest plant in Austin, Minnesota. But we do have many other locations where we hire these positions into throughout the country. So the first is a production supervisor position. It's kind of like running your own business. This is a supervisory role where you are leading a group of, could be 15 to 30 production professionals who are creating products on one of these manufacturing lines. So as a production supervisor, you're establishing department goals, you're scheduling production, and you can help initiate any process improvements. And so you're really seen as, the expert, the manager of that entire line of products that is being created within that environment. A position that actually works very closely with the production supervisor role is a quality and process control supervisor. So that's another management position where you could have 2 to 6 QC auditors reporting to you. You're more monitoring the company's quality control policies. You could be working closely with the USDA. You'll be verifying product labeling, verifying nutritional information, and can support customer specifications. You're also doing product cuttings and making sure that the products are being created up to our standards. We also have some engineering roles available. These require a technical degree, but the first would be our industrial engineers. So those are really seen as efficiency experts. They're studying labor cost and standards. They're improving ergonomics. For example, the person in this picture was previously carrying these very heavy bags. And one of our industrial engineers made the suggestion of putting them on a cart. So this was something that was a little bit more ergonomically friendly for the employee. You're also looking at how to maximize plant and line capacities, making sure we're able to produce as much product as we can within a specific amount of time in the most efficient manner, and then developing ideas to cut costs within the facility. So you really get to be creative to help the company save money ultimately. And then another position would be our maintenance engineering roles. We look at them as really the problem solvers. So our maintenance engineers are also in a management role. They're leading about 4 to 10 mechanics and electricians at the company. And so what they're looking to do is maximize equipment and facility productivity. They're working on any maintenance of any machinery. Some of that is preventative maintenance and some of it comes about unexpectedly. And so our maintenance engineers and the maintenance mechanics and that team need to be able to react and fix those quickly so there isn't a lot of downtime when we're trying to produce those products efficiently. They also do quite a bit of negotiating and scheduling contract work with outside vendors. So what's consistent between all of these different areas is that there's an average of 23 hours of training before you even, go and have this hands-on experience. So all of our employees are attending at least a 1-week new employee orientation in Austin, Minnesota. At this point, we're doing those virtually, so we've been able to scale back a little bit. But once you go back to the manufacturing facility you're reporting into, you would have 4 to 6 weeks of hands-on training in that facility that you're working on, so you're prepared to take on that position on your own. And so an ideal candidate for Hormel really is able to have effective communication, take initiative, and be accountable. We also look for leadership skills, interpersonal and teamwork skills, as it's a very collaborative environment, and then resilience and persuasive skills as well. So these are the types of things that we really look at when we're determining who to hire into these positions. And for the position requirements, the ones that we reviewed today, those positions do require a college degree or progress towards a college degree for internship opportunities. So for internships, that's usually for students of junior status within a college program. And then once senior year comes around and students are looking for a full-time opportunity after graduation, that's when we're looking to hire them into those full-time positions that we discussed today as well. There's a few little pieces of information of what else would be required for the role as we went through in the previous slide, but just something to remember is that certain positions require specific degrees. For example, those engineering positions would require an engineering degree, etc. If you're interested in looking at any other positions at Hormel, maybe outside of the topic area that we are discussing today, you can take a look at our jobs at hormelfoods.com/careers, because there's many different opportunities available at our facilities. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope this provided you with a little bit more information on the manufacturing careers available at Hormel Foods.